here it is. It came in the mail today. Let's open her up and see what we got. Now, I typically don't buy stuff on eBay because of the prices and the fees, and you know, sometimes you don't even know if you're getting something real. It could be complete fake, right? It could be a ripoff. But I got this on eBay. Oh, look at this. What do we have here? This is a Bitcoin. Oh yeah. So take a look at this. I'm gonna edit in right now a better video of this.
Bitcoin. Buying all my Bitcoins, I'll be rich. I'll be rich. Invest in the coins, I'll be rich. I'll be rich. Buying all my Bitcoins, I'll be rich. I'll be rich. Investing in the coins.
All right, so I'm gonna put that down. I gotta drive to work, but I'm gonna talk for a second here and rant while I drive. So hold on a second. Let me get my seatbelt. Safety first. Bear with me. All right, so yeah, Bitcoin. Now, some of you obviously know what Bitcoin is, and some of you may not know what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is digital currency. It's crypto. It's cryptography, okay? And it's been around for quite some time now. We're going on almost 20 years. This technology was invented, and it's been getting adopted more and more as time has gone by. In 2008, Bitcoin emerged on the scene, and Bitcoin has always been the OG, the original gangster of crypto. There was a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto who created this, or at least that's the name that, you know, was given to the guy who created Bitcoin. But the interesting thing was he created this technology and he disappeared off the face of the earth. He basically created this great thing and he disappeared. So the people can do what they want with it. And hopefully, in his eyes, they were like, hopefully they don't fuck it up. Bitcoin was designed to create a new money system, a new peer-to-peer method of sending money from one point to another point without any third-party intervention, right? Now, one of the interesting things about Bitcoin is that there is a capped supply of Bitcoin. Right now in circulation, there's about 19 million Bitcoins in circulation, right? 19 million around the world that are being traded, bought, and sold on a daily basis. But there's a cap on how many Bitcoins can actually be mined, and that's around 21 million. And it'll take another 100 years before all 21 million coins are mined. Now, the interesting thing about having a cap on a monetary supply is that it can't be debased. With the money that we use today, fiat currency, which is just money issued by the government, there's no cap. They could print as many dollars as they want into infinity. And the way things have been going, that's exactly what they're going to do. You know, if they need to fund a war, if they need to fund some crazy, geopolitical event, and they don't have the money to do it, and they don't have the tax revenue to bring in to pay for it, and they need to spend money, they're just going to print money, right? That's how broken the system is. Like, if you need something and you could just create it at will, it's going to devalue and debase the money that's already in the system. And that's what happens. That's why $1 today doesn't get you what $1 got you 10 years ago, and it doesn't get you what it got you 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. And, that trajectory is going to continue into the future. Donald Trump is already talking about essentially stimulating the economy even more here in 2025, and they're going to be dumping trillions of dollars into the system. So that's just going to further inflate everything. That's going to inflate, products on the shelf, prices of food, the prices of clothes, toys, everything else. And it's also going to inflate assets, costs of real estate property, costs of commodities like silver and gold, Cost of equities. Stock markets will typically go higher. And then you have the world of crypto. You have the world of digital currencies. And when they pump money into the system, there's more money to go around. People are going to buy these assets. They're going to buy crypto. They're going to buy Bitcoin. And the price of that is going to go up. But that's not a good thing that, they pump money into the system and it's never going to stop, because the value of a dollar is eventually going to go to zero, and it's not going to be worth anything. So over the last 15 years, Bitcoin has been becoming a little bit more adopted. And just recently now with Trump in office, there was a huge surge of adoption.
I signed an order creating the brand new strategic Bitcoin reserve, and the U.S.
governments, institutions, banks like BlackRock, Fidelity, pension funds, state governments, sovereigns, right? Countries around the world are buying Bitcoin. Why are they buying Bitcoin? Well, because they don't trust the US dollar anymore. The US dollar is the world's money. The world trades on the US dollar. And the United States is so far in debt, and there's just no way to fix it. Countries are starting to lose faith in the United States dollar, and they rather put their hard-earned money in a safer play. And as crazy as it sounds, Bitcoin is becoming the safer play, a safer play than U.S. Treasuries. And this has been a long time coming. This has been slowly evolving over 15 years or so, and it's still so young. It's still so early in its infancy. Crypto, Bitcoin, the whole space, the whole asset class has a lot more development to do. And things are going to change. And the price of Bitcoin is going to go up, and it's going to fall hard. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to run away from it. But that's the way Bitcoin's always been. It's been extremely volatile. It's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down. So I would expect it to have a pretty major crash, because ever since 2020, Bitcoin has really, really pumped up. And here in 2025, one Bitcoin has a value of about $105,000. And back in 2008, a Bitcoin started at like $100. That is a pretty good gain. If you're looking at an investment, Bitcoin has done better than real estate, gold, better than the stock market. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset. And that's a fact. There's no debating that. But a lot of people in the world still think Bitcoin is a scam. It's a big scam, and it's a big waste of money, and it's going to go to zero, and everybody's going to lose their money. Everybody that has money into it is going to lose it all. Well, yeah, that can happen. But, you could lose all your money in gold. You could lose all your money in stocks. Your money isn't safe anywhere. Everything is made up. The dollar bill's made up. The whole technology behind crypto and Bitcoin is made up, right? Gold, essentially, it's a shiny yellow rock from underneath the earth. And somewhere along the line, thousands of years ago, somebody said gold was something special. Sure, you could use gold and you could use precious metals. They have utility in the world. They're used in microprocessors and dentistry and microchips and stuff like that. So there's real use case for that stuff. But when it comes to Bitcoin, it's special because the underlying technology cannot be manipulated. There's only going to be 21 million in there. And out of the 21 million, it could be broken down into a fraction of the Bitcoin. So yeah, one Bitcoin costs 105 grand. Who the hell can afford that, right? Nobody, unless you're super rich. But you could buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. You could buy $5 of a Bitcoin. You could buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. You could buy $250 worth of Bitcoin. And you would have a fraction of it. And a fraction of a Bitcoin is called a satoshi. All right? So in the crypto space, you'll always hear the terminology stack sats. That means stack satoshis. Every time you're buying some Bitcoin, you're accumulating more satoshis. Hold on, I got a little thing here. A little call. I don't know what the hell that is. Someone's trying to call me while I'm making the video. Bitcoin is basically protecting your money. It's protecting your wealth. You go to work. I go to work. We spend a long day at work. We want our money to provide us something in the future. You know, we want it to provide us a nice life in the future. And the dollar bill simply just is not doing that anymore, right? We've had this gigantic shift in reality, how far your money gets you. That's why people are starting to put their money into Bitcoin, and there's a reason why these big banks and institutions are moving towards it too. They know, they see the power of it. And of course, they see an opportunity for themselves to make money. But these people in these banks and, you know, the people who run hedge funds and institutions and governments, they're not stupid people. They understand what's going on in the world. So look, if you don't believe in Bitcoin, that's fine. You know, there's people in the world like Michael Saylor, or what's that guy's name? What's his name? Jackmallers. I forget his last name, but he's a young guy. He's always in his younger 20s or 30s. Like, he's so intelligent. The way that he talks about the future of Bitcoin, it really does open your eyes, and it makes you believe, like, yeah, there is a better way to exchange money. And it could be done with Bitcoin. Now, I know it sounds, you know, it may sound a little wonky and a little crazy, but I don't know. I'm a believer. Leave your comments below. Let me know if you invest in Bitcoin, if you're on an exchange, you know, either a centralized or decentralized exchange, if you have any exposure to Bitcoin. I do, and it's not a lot of money, but I don't want to miss the boat, because if the boat is like Amazon or Netflix or Google or Facebook, and like 20 years ago, you missed that boat, well, you missed it. You know, I don't want to really miss this boat. And I feel like I already did, but I'm getting in now. You know, there's still an opportunity to get in, because most of the world does not know what Bitcoin is, and quite frankly doesn't give a shit. We'll see how that plays out. You know, we might all have egg on our face one day and look like fools when this thing goes to zero, but, you know, I'm optimistic. All right, leave your comments below. Let me know if you mess around with digital currencies and crypto. All right, take it easy.